Arc 1 ended in January. Will says that they haven't seen Cornelia in 2 days, but before that, school was concerned about her. There are leaves on the trees, so it's likely a few months later, possibly March or April. Susan tells Will about her plans to transfer to a new location when Will finishes school in June. Will cries to herself that the Guardians won't exist in a few months because of this. So yeah, likely March or April. The next morning at school is Pumpkin Day, celebrating Sheffield Institute's founder's birthday. Frost captures Peter on this day, and Irma uses her astral drop to pretend to be her cousin named Stella. This is also when their powers start to jank up. Frost is defeated. The next time we see them is at the pool, where Irma talks about the Sheffield Institute reopening tomorrow. This sounds like a spring break is ending. The detectives return, and the Guardians pull off the Simultech heist. The Changeling is created and gives Cornelia all the powers. Susan's transfer is cancelled. The detective also calls Elion's home the Portrait Home, which I didn't notice before, which is also strange, because was their last name the Browns in the comic, or am I just remembering that from the TV show? That same night, Cornelia tries to revive Caleb. Will is called for help, and Susan tells Will to be back by 10 p.m. Caleb is revived, and by 9:15, the girls have their powers back. Caleb is now Kandrakar's lackey, and they fix Cornelia's house. What a day. The next day, the final grades are posted, so I suppose it's June, even though it doesn't seem so. So maybe it wasn't April or March. A little confusing. There must have been a time skip after Pumpkin Day or after Caleb was revived. The girls are on their way to Camp Cormorant in Green Bay, which is about an hour or so outside of Heatherfield. They'll be staying here for 7 days, and will be returning next Saturday. Nerissa awakens now. It also has been months since a date between Matt and Will. It seems that they haven't really gone out since then. Will says they've been texting, though. Will is marked by Nerissa during a nap, Yenlin cleanses it, and Cor is spotted that night. Their curfew is at 10 p.m. They head back to the beach at 9:30 and fight. Chapter 17 opens on the last day of their mini vacation, so they had at least 5 days of fun. Everyone heads off to separate vacations. Tridart and Ember are created, Shagon also. Caleb gets Will almost immediately to head to Cornelia. Luba is marked, and Caleb is taken. There's a time skip, and it's now September as a new school year begins. Also, Halen has a manga called Princess Sushi. Halen tells them about meeting Eric over the summer, and it's revealed to us that Caleb has been trapped with Nerissa for 4 weeks, making the vacation at the end of July, and that they've forgotten him for all of August. Cornelia remembers him. Nerissa is young again, they save Caleb, and Luba dies. An unknown amount of time passes. They're all being affected by nightmares. It's possibly a day or so later that the Oracle brings a thought of Cornelia's to Caleb. The same day as that, based on outfits, Will transports Halen and herself to Cadma. There's snow in Fadden Hills, but I think that it just means it's in a northern area with high elevation. It's likely still September, maybe early October. When Halen whistles Nerissa's trill, she says it's been in her head for days. Time passes and we're told it's Friday. Cornelia's parents are going away for the weekend. I'm fairly certain this is all the first week of school. That same day, the diary is brought to the observatory. That night, they dream fight Nerissa and she turns to dust, but her trill plays on. Another school day begins, possibly the Monday after. Miss Rudolph will be retiring next week, but the party is tomorrow. They buy her a gift that night and Will is feeling down. Meanwhile, Halen learns that the star mentioned in the journal last appeared in the sky over a decade ago in the month of January, Will's birth month. At the party, the narration tells us it's been 1 year since the Halloween party that started it all, which we're still not sure happened on Halloween, but maybe the unknown time skip I mentioned earlier in this video was actually into late September. It's definitely now October. Either way, everyone's birthday has passed. So that makes Will 15, Irma 14, Tarani 14, Cornelia 15, and Halen 14. The group discusses how Will has been weird in the past few days, likely after the dream. Nerissa gets the heart. Next chapter, Irma says it's been raining for days. It's unclear how long Nerissa waited to approach Kandrakar, but now she begins her ascent. It's a new day. Professor Linden gives back the diary, so it seems he tried to figure it out for at least 2 months. That night, Will and Cassidy meet, and Caleb wakes up. The girls head to Kandrakar after the observatory, and Caleb freaks out. Nerissa is still moving. Her approach has been 2 days so far, and when they get trapped in the vision, a new day starts and nearly completes before Cornelia wakes everyone up. It was 4:40 p.m. on the clock as she followed Sipu to Kadma. The group was probably at the Golden by 8 p.m. The light and dark heart duke it out. Nerissa has to power down and turns to sand. Cornelia and Caleb split, and now that I see it, it kind of looks like he is talking about her purple shirt, indicating that she's not who she says she is, or not who he's known. But that's just my mind. Cornelia goes to pick up Miss Rudolph, but takes her on a detour to Sheffield Institute to say goodbye. Caleb and Miss Rudolph are eventually dropped off in Meridian. Will gets home at 2 a.m. Her astral drop decoy ran away. They find her late the next day and reemerge. Haylin gets her braces. Will's father looms outside. Leaves are beginning to fall, so we can safely call it November, and I distinctly remember reading somewhere that a cold front was rolling in, but I can't find it right now. Next day, Peter is possibly old enough to drink because he talks about happy hour at the Rock and Roll Cafe. And looking into it, in Italy, the drinking age at the time was 16 until 2012, where they rose it to 18. So Peter's at least 16. It's 8 p.m. when Tom arrives at Will's door and when Tarani and Haylin are arrested. The last chapter continues Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Everyone is wearing the same outfit the next day, and I don't blame them, as it was kind of a rough night. Tarani discovers Tom's blackmail, and he tries to propose to Susan, to no avail. It was less obvious this arc, but we can safely say Arc 2 covered a time span from January of 2002 to November of 2002. There was just a lot of time skips.